Hi everyone! As most of you know, my name is Cassie. I work as a truck driver in Sweden. Welcome to this whole new video. Today I want to talk about a really important subject. I have talked about this subject a lot on my Instagram page. It feels like I'm repeating myself over and over, but I feel like once and for all I have to make a video of this. And the subject is scammers. I am so sick of scammers by now. Most of you are aware that you don't trust everything you read on the internet because there are very dishonest people out there that might want to do you harm, as in getting your personal information or your money. I think that's the most common thing. So the first time it happened to me, I was driving the septic tanker. I was learning the ways of that truck and I was very busy with that. And suddenly people were inboxing me on Instagram about, hey, someone is using, I think someone created a fake profile with your name and your pictures. And first I was like panic mode. So I searched up this user. They had like my previous username, which was Razor Kitten, and like 205 or something like that, like random numbers. And yeah, indeed, this was a profile that was supposed to look like my profile. They had taken like lots of pictures from my account and republished them, and they pretended to be me. And lots of people were texting me about like, hey, this user claims to be you and they want me to send them money. Is this really you, Cassie, or is this some kind of scam? And I immediately felt this stomach knot, like panic. What is happening? I felt violated, to be honest. It was so creepy feeling. And I reported it to Instagram, and I did like I took a print screen and I posted a story, I think, like, hello, this user, can you please report it? It's not me, it's a scammer. Don't click any links or anything. And it took a while for Instagram to remove that page, but it was still up for a while, and I don't know how many people it contacted, but if a scammer sends out a phishing link, it's called phishing because they throw out hooks, and if they throw out 1,000 hooks and one person grabs onto that and sends them money, they have won, basically. And I think it's really important to spread the word that this happens a lot. This was the first time it happened to me. Then a while after it happened again. And then it happened again. I have had 4 Instagram pages that has been like Trucker Cassie, unofficial, Trucker Cassie 1057.5. They usually do that. They take my name, my username, and they add like numbers or like official, and sometimes they don't take any pictures because they don't need to. People would fall for it anyway, but sometimes they just copy my whole Instagram feed to look like me. Often they don't have a caption or anything either. And sometimes the bio is like, this is my unofficial channel that I don't tell anyone about. And these scammer Cassies pop up like every week. Every week there's a new scammer. Sometimes I randomly check, I search my own username to see if anything new has popped up. But I also receive messages like, hello, I found this scammer profile, I have reported it, I thought you should know. And I really appreciate that because that's usually the fastest way for me to get info about this. And I also want to mention, I have a very dear follower who created a little program that is like constantly searching for new fake Cassies, and I get a notification if there is a new page that is using my name. But that one can take a little while before it notices the new stuff, but it's still a really cool thing. So I cannot do much but report these fake accounts to Instagram. Sometimes they don't even review the pages, and I get the feedback that we found nothing wrong with this page, and I'm like, they have literally stolen about 20 of my pictures can you at least let a real human review this? And sometimes I make like posts on Instagram about this problem, like there's a new scammer out there, report this page, and usually when multiple people report, it gets removed pretty fast. And I always feel like I'm like repeating myself, but it is a really big problem. 2 days ago, I was out walking my dogs in the forest, living a good life, you know. And then I get this email from someone who is like, Cassie, I saw your message, but I don't have Telegram. So what's the giveaway? I'm really curious. And I'm like, giveaway? What? Okay, there's a scammer going on here. I recognize this message, you know. So I searched through Instagram again, like I usually do. I find nothing there. But it turns out someone created an account on YouTube. This has never happened before in my experience, actually. Someone created like, contact me, Trucker Cassie, on Telegram. I think that was the whole channel name. And this user had my profile picture as well, and it was like replying to comments in my comment section about, congratulations, you won a prize, contact me on this Telegram username, which was Trucker Cassie, because I don't use Telegram. So first I reported this user to YouTube, and then I removed the comments, and then I banned him. And like immediately after, he created a new channel and started doing exactly the same thing. Even on a comment I got about, hey Cassie, you have a scammer in your comment section, this scammer replied to that comment like, hey, you won a prize. It's like, yeah, they throw out the hooks anywhere they can find. But I actually got Telegram just to message this person. Who is this? What do you want? Normally when I text the scammers, they don't even respond. They see my message and they're like, not gonna respond. I'm not doing anything wrong. But this Telegram user that has been in my YouTube section, first I'm asking like, hey, how's the scamming going? Are you out for money or what's your deal? He's like, hey, I just need some money and then I'm done, I promise. And it's like, you see this as an easy way of getting money out of people. He really admitted that he's just looking for money. He wants to scam people on money. And then I told him to just stay away from me and my community. I got so freaking angry at him. And then he started saying like, I need money from you, like me. So then he sent me like, hey, send PayPal money on this address. And I'm like, well, now I'm being scammed by myself. It's the weirdest experience. This person pretending to be me is trying to scam me. It's like, are you even aware of what person you are trying to be right now? I don't know how many people he's trying to impersonate right now. How many people is he talking to? But then I started making fun of him, and then I started sending him memes making fun of him, and he just stopped responding, so it was pretty sad. I had a pretty good time making fun of him. Oh well, he created a third channel on YouTube, so he just keeps making new accounts whenever I block the previous ones. And what got me really mad is that I made a post on Instagram yesterday, and one person claims that he fell for the scam. He got scammed by this person on Telegram, and he is angry at me. He's angry at me for that, because he says it's my job to remove the scammers and make announcements every time there's a new scammer, because it has happened so many times before. Firstly, I don't get a new notification every time a new scammer pops up. There's no way I can keep track on all this. I don't live on my cell phone. Some days, sure, but there are hours sometimes when I'm not checking my phone, and during those hours a scammer can roam like crazy if I'm unlucky with the timing. And of course I do what I can to get these people removed, but there will always pop up new ones. So this person claims that it's my fault, that he fell for the scam because I hadn't removed the scammer in time. And then he says, this has happened so many times before, so you should be used to it by now. And I say, wait, you know this happens to me and my accounts all the time, but still you fall for it, and that's my fault. Believe me, I don't really enjoy when people steal my pictures and my username and pretends to be me to beg for money. It's disgusting behavior and it gets me so furious. And I have had other people who message me about another Swedish truck driver who makes videos on YouTube, that she messaged them and say like, hey, I'm supposed to refuel my truck but I don't have any money for diesel, can you send me some money for diesel? And they're like, sure, and they send her money, and then it turns out it was a scam all along, because it wasn't even her, of course. It was another fake account pretending to be her in order to get money, and I get so freaking furious. A lot of scammers are pretty good at manipulating other people's emotions and the goodwill, because most people see good in others and they trust other people. And especially if it's someone you have followed for a long time and you think this person reaches out to you because they need your help. Do not believe everything you see and hear online. Is an offer too good to be true? It probably is. And if you get a message from a person you follow, always go on to that account and double check. Is this the actual person I'm following? Check the creation date of the account. Was it created today or yesterday? Or was it created 7 years ago? Was the first picture published 7 years ago? How many pictures are published? Are there comments on it? The amount of followers. Check the amount of followers. Always think twice and do not click any links. And I want to make it very clear that I don't send out DMs. And I have never made a giveaway. And if I would make a giveaway, I would make a video like this. Both to announce a giveaway and also to announce a winner later on. I would never randomly like, hey, congratulations, you won. I would never do that. Scams have been a thing even since long before the internet was created, and I think internet has made it very easy for scammers to do their thing. And if you have a Netflix account, I really recommend checking out Explained. There's a mini series about how things work. And they have an episode, I don't know the name right now in my head, but I'm gonna post it there. That is about scams. How does a scammer work? What types of scams are there you could fall for, and why does it work? I really recommend checking out that episode if you have a Netflix account. I'm not sponsored, by the way. So that's my advice. Don't click any links, and always double check the sender and think twice. Is it reasonable that this person is messaging me, and why do they want me to click their link? So yeah, that's what I'm gonna give you guys today. I just had to get this out of the system, and the fewer people who fall for scams, the better, definitely. I feel like I want to protect my community and the people who follow me, but I cannot be everywhere at the same time and be ready whenever a new scammer pops up. So you guys, please be careful out there, and if someone online wants you to send them money, just don't do it. I have actually been scammed myself a couple of years ago. I was gonna buy 2 really rare Funko Pops from a girl in the UK. I made a video of that. Don't look at it because I'm a bit but I was really I felt almost heartbroken. I have trusted you. It wasn't that much money. It was 400 kronor or something, but still. I sent her money for the Funko Pops then, and then she was like, "Oh, but I sent them, you must check with your postal service." And then she blocked me, and then I googled her name, and then it seemed like, oh, she has done this a thing for years and years. She's selling dolls and plushies and whatnot. She has these made up stories about this and that to make people feel bad for her. And then she blocks the buyer when she has gotten the money. And that is weird, because this person has her face, and I saw her whole bank account number, and I saw her address, and I could confirm everything. This real person has her face all over the internet, and she continues to scam people. And she has no shame at all. So yeah, it seems like it's really hard to get to these people. So you guys have to take care of yourselves. That's gonna be the end for this video, and I hope you guys are doing well. It's starting to get really warm outside here. And I'm gonna go and park my truck for the day. It has been a good day this far. By the next month, I'm gonna publish a really cool video. It hasn't even been recorded yet, but I know you guys are gonna like it. Okay, rant over. Everyone, stay safe out there, and you guys are the best. Okay, bye.